So obviously I have chosen carnivore, and I kind of wanted to explain why I did that. Um, why I care about health in general. Maybe I think about it a lot more than maybe other people do. Uh, so, anyway, when I was 8 years old, my mom was diagnosed with cancer. And she was in and out of the hospital, in and out of surgery um, for 8 years until she passed away. And that was really, really hard. Um, I remember when I wasn't old enough to drive, and she had to go to the hospital, like just really sick, had to go to the hospital. So she was driving, and she was so sick that she had laid back her seat in the car, and I was leaning over steering. Just stuff like that. Like, she was really sick. Her cancer was a common cancer in a rare place. It was right on the duodenum, I guess. And so, you know, at times she had a colostomy bag, and she really couldn't eat any food. So she had an IV bag every night. So my dad would make that up, and she'd have an IV overnight. And anytime she ate anything, she would get sick and throw up. And she still ate stuff, because who could just not ever eat again? Like, that would be really horrible. Anyway, so we had, there were 5 of us kids, and my mom was sick, and that pretty much dominated every aspect of our lives, her illness. And so now, as an adult, having gone through that, you ask yourself some questions. Could that have been prevented? Was there another way that our lives could have gone? Her life could have gone. She was only 40 something when she died. I'm 49. I'm already older than she ever got to be. So I kind of look at life differently. Like, she was my mom. I thought she knew everything, and now I'm older than she ever got to be, and I still feel like I don't know anything. Yeah. So, could that have been prevented? Not like she did anything wrong. We just all did what we knew at the time, right? But what if it could have been prevented? What if I can prevent that from happening to me, from happening to my family, from my kids being left without a mom, and my husband being left without a wife? Can I prevent that? Is there anything that I can do? So I've been searching for that my whole life. So what have I tried? What have I tried to do to prevent myself from dying of cancer? Well, I have made things from scratch. I have made my own deodorants, my own shampoo, my own conditioner, my own toothpaste. Just, I don't wear makeup, not because of that, but I don't like to mess around with anything, like stuff like that. No extra stuff. I've tried gardening, our own food, like make our own food. I grow our own food. I can my own food. I make sourdough bread, pasta, cheese, soaking the beans, slow cooking everything, fermentations, sauerkraut, milk and water kefirs. I've done all of that for years. We have a little homestead here. We tried quail, we raised meat rabbits, and now we have chickens. Those are mostly for eggs right now. And then I've tried different eating styles. Listened to a lot of vegetarian, vegan stuff, and I've tried that. And I more recently did intermittent fasting, had a lot of success with that, and I've tried a lot of supplements, beet powder and green mixes, and all the things. USANA. I can't even think of them all. I've tried so many different kinds of supplements and stuff, but none of that really did anything. None of that fixed anything that I was dealing with. So how did it work? How did all those things work? Well, not very well. By the time I was a teenager, I had polycystic ovarian syndrome, irregular periods. So by the time I got married at 20, I was infertile. I've had Hashimoto's more in my 30s, but probably had it, subliminal before that. This past year, last year, I was diagnosed with fatty liver disease. I've been pre-diabetic. I've had mega depression, plantar fasciitis, which hurts so bad. I had that. I have bursitis in my left hip and right shoulder. Super low energy, low motivation, brain fog. I am reading a little bit, guys, because I can't. Who can remember all these things? Memory loss. There you go. Memory loss. That's why I can't remember the things. And just weight gain, like tons and tons of weight gain, and just being really fat. And I would get rashes around my waist that would itch like crazy and just never go away. I felt like I was hungry all the time, but I would eat till I was sick and still want to keep eating. And just like an achy body, hard to sleep at night from pain. You just never feel comfortable, never feel good. And I did have a period where I don't know if it had a specific name, but it was like chronic reflux or GERD or something like that, where I had something that helped me to not have so much acid. And I did fix that with a 5-day fast, and that went away, and I was fine. A 5-day fast, that was good. And then, yeah, we'll do that other thing later. But, and so I gained a lot of weight and had all this pain. So that's how all of the things that I've tried have worked, is not at all. So I'm 5'3", and I got up to 258 pounds. And maybe if I can figure out how to do it, I can insert a picture of myself at 258 pounds. It's not pretty. So recently I used intermittent fasting, and I made a ton of progress. I healed up my GERD. I lost a bunch of weight. The plantar fasciitis went away. And just taking a break from the chronic intake of carbs helped me a ton. The prediabetes, insulin resistance went down. I got down to about 205 a year ago, about a year and a half ago. But then it just kept kind of creeping back up, and I got up to 244 pounds again. My fat clothes were getting a little tight. They were getting tight, and I just felt like I couldn't take it anymore. I had to do something right now, like done. This is in March of this year. And I cannot remember exactly, like, some people are like, and then this thing popped up and I found carnivore. That's not exactly how it worked, but I feel like I had this idea of, I want to fast, but it's hard, and I don't want to keep fasting all the time. I don't want to do this intermittent fasting anymore. It didn't feel good anymore. But I knew that I wanted to get into autophagy to heal these things that were going on with me. And then I kind of remembered that I had seen some videos about a fasting mimicking diet. So I probably looked that up and realized that that's essentially a keto carnivore diet. And I had a friend who had done carnivore, and I remember her talking about that. So I was like, well, carnivore is a thing. Somebody I know does this. So I couldn't reach her, so I think I started looking up carnivore on YouTube. And of course, you immediately come across Dr. Berry, Dr. Chafee, Kelly Hogan, Laura Spath. Those were some of the first ones that I found on YouTube, and I loved them. I was convinced and excited and committed, and when I am ready to do something, I do it. I do it immediately, and I do it 100%. So there was no slowly going to keto and then into carnivore. It was, the next meal I had was 100% carnivore. I just ate out all the meat that we had in the fridge, because we always, like, my husband is a fantastic cook, so there's always leftovers in there. He doesn't love leftovers, so it's like my job to eat all the leftovers. So I just ate all the meat I could, and and then just the next meal, just ate all meat, just removed all the other things, so I'm eating up, like, we have deer hot dogs from when we accidentally hit a deer with our car. So I'm eating deer hot dogs and other things that we'd had processed. And so I just ate meat, just ate up meat and just kept eating meat. So I was eating meat, fat, which in our house is home rendered lard or tallow or butter, cheese, salt. That was it. That was all I was eating. That's all I'm still eating. So we used to have these amazing breakfasts every day. We would make these huge, giant potato, what are they called? Hash browns. And then we'd have eggs, bacon, a piece of ham, something like that. We'd have this big breakfast. And so I just made that same breakfast, but I didn't have the potato. And the really amazing thing was that when I would eat that way before, when I would eat that huge breakfast, I would be hungry 2 to 3 hours later. But I ate the same breakfast without the hash brown, without the potato, and I was full all day. It was crazy, the difference of satiety that just removing those carbs made. So how did it go at first? How did it go? I did get a little bit of diarrhea, but probably not like other people are saying they were miserable for weeks. I maybe had a couple days. I got online and I bought an electrolyte mix, or not a mix, but I bought my own ingredients for an electrolyte mix. So I bought magnesium and I bought potassium, and I mix them together and make my own. And at first it tasted really gross, but now I crave it. Like, I actually like it. I don't do that every day still, but I did it at first because I'm really cheap and I can't buy the fancy element. I just can't do it. So, and then I salt my water and I salt my food. I love salt. So my transition was really easy. I never got the keto flu. I never felt really bad. And then I only would get diarrhea if I ate too much butter. Because I started watching these videos where people were just like eating sticks of butter, and so I would try eating some butter, and it always made me feel bad. So I don't do that anymore. And so now for me, I find it super, super easy to only eat meat and animal-based foods. I find it really, really, really easy. I do not need a ton of variety and flavor profiles, which I think makes me a unicorn, because I'm committed to this way of eating for health reasons, and even like more reasons about my daughter. I'll talk about that another day. I am committed to this, So, and I don't need a ton of variety. So it's hard for me and my husband to even communicate about this, because he needs variety and he likes good tasting food. I have been known to just eat a can of spinach or something. I don't care about flavor, but I like eating the carnivore foods. It's fine. I don't have to make decisions. I love that. The dishes are so much easier. We don't have a dishwasher. I'm the dishwasher, and having far, far less dishes and less chopping. And I was the sous chef. He did all the cooking, but I did the chopping and all of that and the cleaning. So I really like carnivore. Eggs and steak and bacon for breakfast, and basically same thing later on in the day if I need 2 meals. I love it. I could do this forever. Yeah, I could eat anything if I believe that it's good for me, and I know this is good for me. I'm never tempted to the point where I'm willing to deviate from this path. We did a 6-week RV trip, and we were with other people in their homes, and they were making delicious food, and I was never tempted to the point where I even took a bite. So again, I think that makes me maybe a bit of a unicorn in that sense, that I just want to be healed of my Hashimoto's so much, and to get to a healthy weight, that nothing is tempting me beyond what I can resist. So I love truth, and I feel like I've finally found it. I feel like I've been lied to and deceived so many times about nutrition, and I think that this is the path. This is how I'm gonna proceed.